yo, it's crazy what went down with this whole LeBron James and Stephen A. Smith story. It was so crazy, people. I mean, we all know the whole situation where LeBron was very, I'll use the word instrumental. Not really instrumental. It was all because of LeBron James. Nepotism at its best. Why he got his son, Bronny James, into the NBA and not into just the NBA, but into his team, the Los Angeles Lakers, because it's always been a dream of LeBron's to play with his son, and he made his dream come true. Unfortunately, as we all know, we're all seeing it play out on the basketball court that Bronny's not that good. And it's okay. It's okay. He's doing the best that he can. It's just that he's not NBA material, so he was put back to the G League, where he should be, and some question that he may not even belong in the G League, because there's many other players that are better than him that are probably looking at him like, we know why your ass is here, but that's okay. We understand why LeBron did it, and that's fine. Just a few days ago, Stephen A. Smith, fresh off his $100 million contract with ESPN, was at a Los Angeles Lakers game. And during the game, LeBron James, during a timeout, went over to Stephen A. and said, yo, keep my son's name out your goddamn mouth. Something to that effect. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And Stephen A. said, nah, we don't have to go there. He said, no, I'm saying, keep his name out your mouth. I don't want to hear it. Bronny was on the sidelines looking all solemn and stuff like that. And Stephen A. said, you know what? I'm not even going to get into this right here. I work for Walt Disney. I just got a $100 million contract. I ain't getting in something right here, because he says, even though it's not my fault, I don't want no parts of it. So LeBron went huffing away and continued the game. Stephen A. went back on ESPN because his bosses said, yo, you got to address this, because it was all over the internet, right? You got to address what went down. You getting into a little beef with LeBron right there, you got to address it. Works for Disney. He had to do that. He went, Gilbert Arenas, whatever. He went on his podcast. He went on his own podcast as well and discussed it all right now. And the reason why Stephen A. was upset about this whole thing is because he said he wasn't going for Bronny. Listen, Bronny is doing as best as he can, and we understand it. And he did say he understands that LeBron wasn't stepping to him as an NBA player. He was stepping to him as a parent. So he understood somewhat, but he still did not like it, right? And the problem is because he made it clear, I'm not coming for Bronny. I'm coming for you, because what you're doing is not fair to Bronny. He's clearly not where he needs to be. He shouldn't be here. He shouldn't be on the Lakers. You're making him look bad, okay? He probably shouldn't even be in the G League. But okay, he's there, whatever. He's clearly struggling. He's not playing. He's not even playing. They don't even play him. So he clearly knows. And the reason he's not playing is because of LeBron. Because if LeBron says, put him in there, you know the coach is going to put him in there, right? So even LeBron knows he's not good enough to be on the team. It's being shown, right? It's playing out in the public for all of us to see. So why are you doing this to your son? And again, he wasn't going against Bronny. He's going against the decision that LeBron is doing, and he's just making it look bad, and it's just not fair to his son. So I guess my question to you, Kay, is do you think that LeBron was in the right to step to Stephen A., who is just doing his job? He's just doing his job. That's what he's paid the $100 million to do, is to talk about these sports stories. And LeBron is the biggest player in the NBA and arguably in all of sports. So do you think it was right for LeBron to stop half court during the game and step to Stephen A. about this? Or should he be just kept his mouth shut and continued to finish the game?
Well, yeah. So it's interesting. It's interesting how people separated LeBron the player from LeBron the dad, right? LeBron the dad did what a dad would do, right? Taking up for his son. Ideally, So that somewhat makes sense.
Even though he wasn't talking about the son
No,
per se.
I get it. But if that's a loved one, it doesn't, whether it's a direct hit, whether it's a stray, whether it, like I'm coming for it, right? Like, so I get that, right? He's gonna be all Papa Bear and shit like that because somebody said cause he thought I thought I wish your mother, you know what I mean? That kind of, you don't have to finish the sentence, right? So from that standpoint, I get it. I do agree that it is kind of self-inflicted, so to speak, because LeBron has done some of those things. I thought that LeBron was going to retire after the year.
After last year's season?
Right. Well, after, so in other words, I'm going to get my seasons mixed up. So I thought he was much close to retiring. And so kitchen table conversation with the family. Listen, I'm going to grease these tracks to get you up here because I'm about to check out and I want to make history. Right. So you're going to leave school, go into the draft. Rich Paul's going to do his thing. We're going to draft you and so on. So then we're going to be on the court together. We're going to make history. And then that's it for me. So I think a lot of folks viewed it that way, right? Lo and behold, doesn't look like Bron's leaving.
And he really
right? So he's rejuvenated with Riddick there. Yeah. They're playing well. Now they've got what's my man from Dallas?
Doncic, right?
Luka. So they got Luka. Yeah. So they got Luka there, and LeBron's playing like Miami.
He's still at a very high level.
Playing like Miami LeBron. He's got these. Yeah. And now it's like, he might do another 2-3 years. Yeah. Well, if that's the case,
40 years old.
If that's the case, Bronny should have stayed in college. The whole idea, as I thought, and as many people thought, and I think people generally gave it a pass, so to speak, take that however you want it, was because it was about making history because Bron was about to leave. Right. Now we're probably get another 3 years. Look at the way he's playing.
Yeah,
he's in the MVP conversation,
and maybe he didn't even know that.
And
he would
now
be
it's like, well, then why'd you pull youngster out of college? When he wasn't, that was the only reason why we were kind of like, give Bron that, make the history and something else he can do. Fam, like, come on, that shit is crazy now. He's not there. I'm big into college basketball. He didn't dominate at that level. He's not dominating, and now he's a professional ball player. He should be able to take some criticism, right? And in fairness to Bronny, he hasn't said anything.
No, and no one. This is nothing against Bronny. He's doing his thing, right?
Right. So in fairness to him, it shit is crazy to me. And then the one thing I am so heartbroken about, like in my soul, I am so heartbroken that we couldn't actually hear the audio of the conversation with LeBron. This would have been in the classic Chris Rock, Will Smith, Birdman in the Breakfast Club. Keep my name out your mouth.
Keep that name out my mouth.
I know it would have been
Keep my son's name out your mouth.
Like it would have been.
All right, Will Smith.
Right, it would have been another one of those, and we're all trying to read his lips, like you know what I mean.
But I could almost hear it.
And you feel
the way that Stephen described it, I can almost hear it.
Stephen did kind of do a verbatim what was said, then I said, then he said, then what I said, and so on. But then the other part too, Stephen, here's what I want to know. When Stephen says, I didn't want to get into it, so I fell back.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
He wasn't talking about a physical altercation.
Oh, okay. Thanks for the clarification. Because I was like,
he ain't that dumb. Come on, man.
We all saw the clip of you trying to do the MMA fighting and all that.
Well, then again, Kay.
Oh, here we go.
No, then again.
Here we go, man.
LeBron is not that dumb.
Stop.
Imagine if he took a swing on him.
Stop. Well,
he wouldn't do that, though.
No, he wouldn't do that. But the idea was like, I didn't want to go. Like, what does that mean? Like, engage in conversation back and forth? Because that would have been fine.
He was more talking about his contract with ESPN and he didn't want to ruffle any feathers and make any big thing, and he just didn't want it to play out like that. That's why he's saying that he kind of
play out like what? Where it's just conversation
yeah,
back
he
and
didn't
forth.
want to
Just
be
a
all of
heated
that.
exchange.
I mean, right, and it already happened anyway because it already hit social media. But he didn't want to put any more gasoline on the fire and make it blow up even more. Even though he's
I'm glad you clarified that, because when you start saying I ain't want to get into it, I was like, okay.
Right. Yeah. You know.
I'm like, all right.
And I think because LeBron is the king of basketball, I mean, his bosses told him he had to talk about it anyway.
I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna tell you like this. I say it had developed to an fisticuffs. My money's on Stephen. Listen. He's an older dude. Them young boys on me mess with old heads, man. Steve's from New York. He's from Queens, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He might have.
No.
Ain't he a lefty too?
Nah. Listen, I've been rooting for him, but nah. It ain't gonna happen.
Nah, I think Steve. Listen, I like straight up. Nah, he ain't got no wins. But I think Steve looked like he might have snuffed him up.
No.
South side, right? South side, right?
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Yo, Doc, that's what I'm trying to tell Jerry, right? Steve, Queens, he's New York.
Right.
You know what I mean? And credit
represent.
to Steve. I don't think Steve stood up to him because he felt the comfort of, I'm here, nothing's going to happen.
No.
I think Steve is there for the smoke, man.
Well, you know what? I think that was kind of a sucker move on LeBron's part. Because like LeBron said, he says, yo, he has my number. He could have picked up the phone and called me and we could have spoke about this as men. That didn't have to happen. That's my problem. That right there shouldn't have happened in the court in front of millions. It should have never happened.
No. See,
that was a punk move.
This is the problem, though, because I've heard Steve say this before. With other, you got my number, or why don't you call me and all this other stuff. But here's the thing. There's oftentimes Steve is saying things and we're all listening. He ain't calling any, as far as I know. You know, he doesn't talk about how he called someone.
But he didn't have the problem with LeBron. LeBron had the problem with him.
Regardless of what the situation is, right? Like, you don't, if you... I guess
people as the problem should place the call.
Well, no, I guess my issue with it is this, Jay. If someone has a problem, right? Let's just use the same. Someone has a problem. You don't hold me accountable to how I want to communicate it. If I call you, I call you. If I see you, I see you. If I step to you, I step. Like, that's you lose that. It ain't all of a sudden I'm less than or I'm this because I didn't call you. No, I ain't calling you.
It's unprofessional, Kay. It's unprofessional how LeBron did it. It's not a man move. It's unprofessional.
My point is this. You got my number. You could have called me.
Yeah.
Bro, so I ain't call you.
Okay.
If I'm checking you, you gonna tell me how I'm supposed to check you? I'll check you however the fuck I want to check you. So
you
there,
check me.
right?
You made yourself look like a fool.
But whatever, right? So what? I'll slap fire out your fucking ass, right?
So then you should have just done that right there in the court.
Or maybe I will, maybe I won't. But it ain't for you to say, well, you got my number, you could have called me. That was the one part, like, and I've heard people say, well, you could have called. Well, I ain't want to. If you do something that I believe is out of pocket to me, I'm not like, whatever.
Well,
I don't care whether you like it, don't like
immature.
it, whatever,
It's really
right? You know what I mean? So it's like, you admit, like, so I'm less of a. So let me get this. So I'm less of a man because I didn't call you over the phone, but I said it to your face. I don't see that. Nowhere that I'm from, or people that I know see it that way.
He might have been scared, to your point, that maybe Stephan A would have swung on his ass and knocked him out. You don't know, but he knew he wasn't going to do it right there. He knew he wasn't going to do it right there.
Well, he damn sure wasn't going to do it over the phone. I mean, it's like...
Well, yeah, but listen, you could have called me over the phone. You'd be like, yo, let's meet on the corner of 92nd Street in Ditmars or something like that. You could have said something like that, and let's handle it there as men. He didn't do that.
Well,
he wanted to do it in front of the whole world because he knew nothing was going to go down.
That's possible.
100%.
Well, maybe Stephen will keep Bronny's name in his mouth, and we'll find out, like, you know.
Listen, and this is...
And we could all find out what he meant by that.
This is the one person that's getting the short end of the stick in all of this is Bronny. And that is who I feel really bad for. Stephen A has done nothing wrong. He's only speaking the truth. We all see it, and it's fine. There's nothing against Bronny. He's just not good, and that's okay. There's no problem with. There's lots of people in the G League that are not that good, and even in the NBA, they're not that good. It's okay. But the problem is what LeBron is doing to his son, just in my opinion, is just not fair. Putting your son out there to get everyone talking about him, that he's not playing well, which is true, he's not, and it's fine, but people's jobs, like Stephen A., is to talk about how he is not playing well. And there's a microscope on him, and LeBron knows there was going to be a microscope on Bronny the whole time, and he also knows that Bronny wasn't ready. So for him to do that to his son, to put him out there to get all of this smoke by these the people in this industry that have to speak about it, I just think is wrong. And I feel really bad for Bronny. It's just not cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah. That's the casualty in all of this.
So I hope it works out the best for Bronny.
Yep.
All
Same
right?
here.